everyone, and thank you. I mean, the response to this particular Facebook Live has been extremely amazing. And believe it or not, the initial plan was to have a Facebook session, a live Facebook session, twice a month. I kid you not, we have been trying to get this done for the past 4 weeks. I think it was meant to have been on the 1st of May, and then we tried to move it to the next weekend, and then something kept happening. We even tried to do it on Tuesday, and the rain spoiled our plans. So really, it's not like we didn't want to do it, but it would be good to always have a speaker on ground. So, hi, for those who don't know me, my name is Tokwe Williams, and thank you for joining the Designers Resource Hub. We actually set this up a while back. Sorry, I'm sweating a bit, so let me just... So we actually set this up a while back because designers were always facing challenges with their fashion businesses. So we felt the most important thing to do was create an avenue where we can come to rant and also ask questions and help each other. So really, that's what this group is about. Now, today's topic actually came up when I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw Deji. And when he comes on, there he is. Let me add him, so that we go straight into it. Here, and hopefully internet willing, nothing will mess up. So this whole thing started when I stumbled upon there he is. Hi. Can you see?
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, it's good to be here. How you doing?
Oh, excellent. Okay. Good. I'm excited. Okay. So this whole thing started off with that thing I saw on your Facebook page. Or you put up a post, something about the more operational you are, the poorer or the less wealthy you become. And obviously, anybody who runs a business out there knows that, come on, you are touching our very soul, by what you said. And let me just read. I have my second phone here. So for those who maybe didn't get, or maybe who got invited by a friend, let me tell you what the theme of today's stuff is. I have my phone here, so forgive me for looking down. Let me just look for the flyer. You have the flyer now. You can read out the flyer now. Hang on. Let me look for the flyer again, so that I can just read out what's. Or let me actually even look for my broadcast. Right. So basically, what this whole thing is about is it says what you said, and all these things are a direct quote from you. Most solopreneurs think that doing the actual work in their business is what brings in the money. However, consider the fact that the highest paid person in every organization or project does the least amount of operational work. Now, for those who don't know Deji, yes, let me introduce you quickly. So Deji and I go way back, way back. First, first you just reminded me on Saturday that we were at NYC camp together, which I had completely forgotten. And then we worked in KPMG together, which was obviously how this whole thing came to be. We worked in KPMG. Oh, by the way, Deji, our Oga Patapata is here. Wale Ajayi is what you know, so you better be.
Really? Wow.
Yes, I know, right?
Wow. Absolutely wonderful.
He's going to tackle you. That's Deji. KPMG a while back. I'll leave you to introduce yourself as well. But basically, let me just give a brief of those who don't know you. So basically, we worked in KPMG together. Did you leave before me or after me? After you left before me, right?
After you. No, you left before I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you went to SA.
I left. Okay. Yes. So he was in KPMG and were in the same unit, like tax and regulatory advisory. And I know that you're a mountain of knowledge. And I know you're a pastor as well, but we're not going to bring pastor into this whole thing. This one is
no.
A religious
not
something.
Not allowed.
But yeah, he also pastors, or he's an assistant pastor with Haverstown International Christian Center, which interestingly enough, I also remember when that started as well. And then you left to, I think, what did you leave to do? Maybe I should leave you to speak.
Okay, so I left KPMG 2008. I think it was 2 years or so after you, I can't remember. And initially what I did was to join a friend of mine. You probably know him, Pelumi. He runs a technology business. And I joined him to head the advisory segment of his business. And then I moved on from there to start my own consulting business. So we just decided to like split it, so to speak, into two. Right. Wale, if you're hearing me, I dove my heart, and I.
He can hear you.
Yes. I am paying my dues. Yeah.
Okay, so you left them advisory
So I
and
left. So yeah, I started PPI Advisory about 2 years after that, and I've been doing PPI Advisory now for about 8 years.
okay. And
Yeah.
who's your target market? I mean, what do you do in BPI advisory?
So essentially, we provide growth advisory services pretty much. What that means is that organizations and companies that are looking to grow and scale their business, we're the guys that they talk to. So essentially, things around. So the way I say it is this. We really don't believe that there is a silver bullet as far as growth is concerned. We believe that there are a series of multiple things that you need to do well.
Silver
And
bullet.
so
Okay,
what
use
we
language you
do,
can understand though. You know we are fashion designers. Which one is silver bullet again? The only silver bullet me I remember is when we're watching vampire films, and I know it has nothing to do with vampires.
okay, all right.
So
So
use language we can understand.
okay, all right. So we don't believe that there is only one thing that you should do to grow, right? There is no one answer fits all. And so we believe that there are several things that you must do, and growth is a function of several moving parts. And so as an organization, your ability to do those things well is what will, really, really help you to achieve growth and scale. And so as an organization, as BP Advisory, we really, really help you, walk you through that process to ensure that you achieve growth as an organization. So pretty much that's what we do. There are several things
Okay.
involved in that, obviously, as you would imagine. But yeah, that's what we do.
Okay, fantastic. So let's talk about the growth workshop. Now that
Yeah,
workshop was amazing. As in what you said, what you did, the tasks we did, the people you invited. Oh my
yeah,
goodness. By the time we were done talking to them, I had to
yeah,
sit down and go, that was really deep.
yeah,
Where
yeah.
people are, talking about global trends and how it affects a small, tiny business. So
Yep, yep,
for me, it was like an eye opener, right? And maybe you
yep.
should tell us the people that came for that event, just in case, because I know the owner of the place. I mean, I eat in the place all the time, so I know he was there. He was also a KPMG person. And then, so give
Yes.
us a brief overview about what the growth workshop was about, which was what actually also led, to us ensuring that this was going to happen this week before we all forgot what we learned on Saturday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so the growth workshop essentially was designed to help businesses develop strategies for growth as well as an implementation plan. Now, there are several things that business owners and several challenges that business owners face in trying to grow their business. And so what we said was that how can we really help businesses? So let me give you a bit of a background of how this whole thing happened, right? So when I first started out in consulting, consulting is it's a pretty tough space to play in. And so I started out thinking to myself that, hey, it would be great if I had a lot of help in making a lot of decisions and looking at some of the things that I was doing and getting help to make those things happen. And so what I did was, I mean, of course, I really didn't get that kind of help. And I felt that, listen, when I get to that point where I feel like I can add value to other businesses, why don't I try to help as well in that particular area? And so the growth workshop was born really out of a need to help businesses to grow their business and to scale their business, to provide information that perhaps they really didn't know, and to be very, very practical. I'm very passionate about being practical. I don't like theory because I don't think theory helps, many people. And some of my experiences in the past have been, quite theoretical, and I made up my mind that I wasn't going to do that as well. And so the growth workshop really is how we can help you button down and really, really get down to the basics of your business. No thrills, no frills, no DSG, no packaging, no, none of all those
No
things.
packaging.
No. We take out all the packaging and all of that. And so this workshop specifically on Saturday was really very helpful. The feedback was phenomenal, not just from you, but from all the participants that were there. We had Abayomi Yomi Aobokun. He used to be the CEO of Owando Downstream. And then, he left to start his own business, Enyo Retail and Supply, a downstream oil and gas business. And so that was really, really amazing to get Yomi in the room. It was fantastic. Yomi is a fantastic thinker, a phenomenal business leader, just a great guy. And of
The guy
course, the
is
second
deep, man.
person,
That's all I can say. That's one
yes,
thing I
he
can
is.
say. Very
He
deep.
is. Yeah, he is amazing. He is amazing. And of course, the second person was Kola Adewale. Kola Adewale founded the place about 11 years ago. And I think it
Please,
was
who eats in the place? Who eats in the? If you eat in the place, please raise your hand, because man, I know I eat in the place all the time. And I
we
have to tell
all,
you
I
another day
mean, I
that
eat
thank
in
you
the
for coming
place.
to my area, because
Yeah.
really, you eat in the place and be as in it's
Yes,
amazing. So
yes,
it was
yes,
quite interesting because that was yet another person that started a business. He was in KPMG as well, and he left at
yes,
a very in a very he was a very high person before he left. So
yes,
yeah.
yeah. So
So
yeah,
that
Kola is
said,
absolutely amazing. Yeah. Go ahead.
so what I was trying to say is, sorry to cut you short, because
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are here with questions and questions and questions. So
Yep.
first things first, please let me speak to my moderators. I don't want to look like I'm distracted, because I know some other people are joining the group as well. So please, moderators, you know yourselves. I don't need to mention names. Please, people are trying to join the group. I'm trying to look out for, people's, I'm trying to check my second phone to be sure that things are still streaming properly. I'm also checking people's comments at the same time. So please, if you can, in your time, just go to the members page and try and accept, as many invitations as possible, because this is just something that is really touching a lot of people. So it will be good
Yeah.
to have as many people as possible join. So please, you can't seem to find the live video. I'm live.
Yeah, I can see that comment as
Yeah,
well.
someone is saying they can't seem to find the live video. Just try and look for it, and well, if you can't even find it, that means you probably can't hear what I'm saying. Now, another thing I'm going to say is now I'm going to play advocate.
Yeah.
And I say this for a reason. So don't think I'm attacking you. I am
No
speaking
problem.
on behalf of people that are going through these things, and they will be attacking you. Well, not attacking you, but they will always say, but that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. This is the reality of, on ground and stuff like that. So I will be
Yeah.
speaking on behalf of designers who, I can tell you for free, are going through issues, and a lot of the things that they have read in books are not working, right? So
Yeah.
I know I'm going to read a comment that I had with a lady on WhatsApp before I came here, and she gave some advice, and I was trying to tell her that, look, it works. Yeah, we know how it works. I know how it works. You know how it works. But for the person starting their business, for you to now, and I'm not even responding to her, but I know we had this conversation before. For you to start telling me to delegate and employ people, the question is, do I have the money to employ the people that you're talking about? It's not as if nobody wants to go to sleep and go on vacation. But the truth is, especially if I'm running a production unit, before I turn my back, my tailors have spoilt my work. Do you understand? So sometimes I need to be on ground. But I do agree with you that yes, you cannot move forward if you are completely operational in nature, which is what this session is about. If you are, and I can tell you for free, I can tell you it works for me. The times I see higher registrations are the times I'm on vacation. Because when I'm on vacation, I'm not in I'm telling you, anytime I go on vacation, registrations jump up like.
You are doing something
right. Do you understand?
right.
No, but the interesting thing is, because I am not training, or because I'm not in the production room, or because I'm not like in the nitty-gritty of work, I don't even have, I'm able to, sit down, look at my analytics, think about marketing, do some research, talk to people. But the truth is, by the time I'm standing on my feet from morning till night, like, how can I even move my business forward? Some people cannot take 1 hour away from their business. The business is like, before you know it, customers are screaming, or before they come back, the tailor has done like all sorts. So I'm going to play a lot of advocate today, a lot.
Okay.
So if you have questions, if you're watching this and you have questions, I'm reading your questions. I don't know if Deji can actually see, people's comments and questions and everything. But if you can't, I'm simply going to read them out to you. You can table your questions down maybe at the end of the video, or I'll write them down, or we'll just freestyle. It's not as if it's supposed to be something very formal and everything. So
no problem.
I'm throwing it back to you. The sentence, the more operational you are, the poorer you become. Please explain yourself. And it better be a good explanation.
All right. Okay, so let's put it this way. And again, if you read the comments that I attached to that particular post, right? What it says is that most people think that doing the actual work is what brings in the money. And the reality is that I mean, if you look at the CEO of a bank, right? What does a bank do? The bank keeps your money, they give you back your money, all those types of things. The CEO is not at the teller paying you money at the bank, right? When you look at every organization, the guy that owns the place, right? Caller doesn't even show up on the floor, so to speak, of the place. Do you see what I'm saying? Yomi doesn't show up at the pump, dispensing petrol into your car. All right. So the CEO is always not at the place of operations. And what that begins to tell me is this, right? Excuse me. What that begins to tell me is the fact that something must be wrong, right? If this is the most critical part of your business, why are you not there? If you are the number one person in that organization, and this is supposed to be the most critical part of your business, why aren't you there as the number one person in that organization? So that begins to get me thinking that, hey, what's going on here? Why is it that, if this is really the most important thing, and as the leader of the organization, you should be doing the most important work in the business. Why are you doing?
The question is, what is the most important work? What is the most important work?
Absolutely, right? So here's the thing, right? I believe that the CEO's number one job of a CEO, right, in my opinion, is that the CEO is supposed to inspire his staff and people within the organization to remain fully engaged with the organization's vision and strategy. That's your job. What that means is
you can see you just lost me now. You just lost me. Okay.
No. That's what I was just about to explain. I was just about to explain. What that means is this, right? As the CEO, right, what you should be doing is putting out fires in terms of wherever there seems like there is chaos. You're supposed to be settling issues. You're supposed to be ensuring that anything that is going to stop your people from doing their work, as a CEO, you're supposed to remove those bottlenecks from the way. That's your job. So, but if you're not doing that, then what that means is that you are doing someone else's work. So as a CEO, you're supposed to be doing a lot of meetings, creating alignment with the people that are on the shop floor, getting things done. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I do see it, but you see, for me, I have an issue with that. Not that, like I said, I agree with you, but I'm playing advocate. Now, the reality on ground is I run a business, right? I am the person that has the vision of the business at heart, and I am the person that has the knowledge behind what I'm trying to do. And I'm just starting a business. This is 1 year or 2 years down the line, right? And the truth is, at the end of the day, I don't have the money to employ that many people. Because obviously the only way you can be less operational in nature is by employing people, right?
Absolutely.
So, exactly. Now, even if I employ people, I have to train them. The question is, do I do the training in-house or do I call somebody else to do the training? If I'm calling somebody else to do the training, that is more money down the line. Or down, I won't say down the drain, but that is more money spent. In the early days, one of the things that we learned in business is that you need to save as much money as you can possibly save. Don't throw away money. And I can safely tell you for free that initially when I first started and I did, you see, Wale is saying something and I'm going to read it out. He says Deji, but does that not depend on the size of the organization? Oh, you can read it. Okay, great. So you can see what he's saying. And that's the reality on.
Yeah.
The truth is, I have to be the person. Yeah, if I start a business, I have to be the person to train the people. I have to be the person to provide guidance. I have to be the person to sit down and ensure that they actually understand what it is that they need to do. As time goes on and then they now begin to understand the ropes, then it frees me to do other things. But the truth is, the mindset of the people that we work with, especially in the fashion industry, and we are artists, I mean, most of them are artisans, do not even understand what the hell we're talking about. You're talking vision to a tailor. I'm not saying he's dumb. But to him, he is thinking about, you remember what you said at the training, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He's thinking about food and all the other. I mean, really, vision and mission, that is your business. My own is pay me my money, let me go. So how do you even get to align your staff? And remember one of the issues that I had, every single artisan we're working with looks at it from a transactional perspective. It's a money-making thing. It differs from the training we had at KPMG, whereby you come in and they spend one whole month trying to explain, above all, we act with intent. Do you understand? I have customers to deliver to. I have clothes I have to deliver. I don't want to sit there and be gisting with you about mission and vision and all those kind of things. And that is the reality on ground. So that's where your theory conflicts with what is actually happening.
Okay, so please be patient with me, and bear with me as I try to explain. All right, and I'm trying to
And
take this
address what
slowly.
Wale just said as well.
Oh, absolutely, because two of you are saying the same thing, and I'm going to speak to it. Let me say this, right? As a small business, as a startup, someone that you are still trying to exit the startup phase of your business, the reality is this, that, I mean, people will tell you everywhere in the world that if you're starting a business, you should be prepared that for maybe the first 3 years, thereabout, right? You are hands-on, you are literally taking no vacations, you are getting things done. The truth is this, Tokwe, you have answered the question for yourself. However, the challenge is that most people, all right, are unable to see where the tire meets the road. And let me try and explain. When you start a business, right, the first thing is not to go and start hiring people because you don't have the money. The first thing is this, right? When I advise clients, I typically start with almost like the roles within your business, and then we put names to it. Now, what happens is that your name shows up multiple times because you are the CEO, you are the accountant, you are the production designer, you are everything. But as your
I'm
business
the HR
grows,
manager, everything,
you are
everything. I'm even the
everything.
cleaner sometimes.
And you have to be. You have to be. The reason is because of where your business is starting from. Except if you inherited one big pot of money from one allergy somewhere that paid you money and you are using that to start. But if you are a normal human being like you and I, where when we started our business, it was essentially bootstrapping, right? What you need to do is that you need to take on
Please
more at
explain
the initial
bootstrapping.
stage. Okay, bootstrapping means that you are literally scraping through the bottom of the pot to survive, right? You are
Okay.
using you're literally surviving on, you are cutting costs to the barest minimum, if you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
But what is critical is the fact that people must understand that when you first start a business, right? And this also applies. Maybe you have started the business before and then something happened and now it seems like you are going back to square one, right? Anybody that is in that phase that, listen, it looks like I'm just about to start, you need to be hands-on, you need to train people, you need to get people on board, and you need to help people understand what you're trying to achieve. I understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and like I explained on Saturday, what you will then need to do is to find out how we can tie people with those needs that they have. So for example, if I had those artisans, I know that what is important to them is money, food, all those types of things. Why can't I put as part of their compensation, right, that, listen, your ability to deliver is tied to those things that are important to you, such that I'm
Explain.
able. Okay, so for example, if I have a tailor, right, who I know that this guy is actually doing tailoring because he wants to go to school, right? What if I promised him that, listen, if you do good work and you remain faithful for 1 year, 2 years, whatever and the period that we agree is, I guarantee you that you will get to school. But these are the things that you need to know. These are the things that you need to do. And I will support you in doing that and structure that into some sort of compensation in a way that also helps the person understand that, listen, I have, so to speak, skin in the game. The problem is this a lot of times, we want to catch a fish on our own terms. We want to engage people based on the way we have been engaged. But we must realize that people are sometimes different, right? What is important to you, Tokwe, may be different from what is important to me. And so if I want you to be my friend, I need to give you what is important to you before you are my friend. Do you understand what
But
I'm
wait,
saying?
hang on, hang on. I have an issue with that. When we
Okay.
met you and we had a discussion,
Yes.
it became a symbiotic relationship. You do your
Yes.
work, I pay you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Hang on.
Absolutely.
So am I not giving you what we agreed? Do you understand
Yes.
where I'm coming from?
Absolutely.
Why do I now
Yes.
have to promise you? And that was one of the things I also said on that day. Why must
Yes.
everything in Nigeria be transactional in nature? And you knew how I was when I was working. A lot of us
Mm-hmm.
weren't doing the work because of our bottom line, whereby where we're
Mm-hmm.
going to get paid. How is it possible that structured organizations are able to train people in such a how do we train people? How do structured organizations train people in such a way that they actually give their all? As against or is it because of the universities you went to, or because they are getting the best in the market, or what? Because when we were in KPMG, we worked hard.
And we didn't work
Yeah.
hard because we wanted to get paid at the end of the year. Oh, at the end of the
So
month. I don't think
let me say
that
this.
wasn't why I was working.
No,
But why is it
absolutely.
that when it's
Absolutely.
not my tailor, I have to start promising, I will send you to school. Why should I send you to school? We've agreed. I'm not saying it's not good to send them to school. No. But why do I need to send you to school? Why do I need to toast you and cajole you and beg you to do what you were paid to do? That is my frustration.
Okay, so Tokwe, the fortunately or unfortunately, right? The reality of the situation is such that the people that we're dealing with are different from you and I. Again, it goes back to my point, right? You can't catch a fish on your own terms. You have to catch the fish on the terms of the fish. What that means to me is this, right? Tokwe, if I wanted to engage you, for example, today, and I wanted to say that, you know what, help me do something. What I need to do is to find out what is important to you, right? And see how we can come to some sort of arrangement so that whatever it is that I've agreed to pay you, right, is also based on that, right? Okay, so I love this comment. Giving employees what matters to them most based on understanding will make them offer their best. The reality
but we're giving them money now. Is that not what matters to them the most? Money.
No, but yes, I agree, Tokwe, but you must understand that sometimes it goes beyond that. So guess what, right? Here's the way I put it. When you give people money, they can't eat money.
No, but they can buy food with the money.
Exactly. What they want is what money can give them. Right? Are we together? Now, sometimes what they want, so for example, a guy has a child in the hospital that needs medical attention. The guy's salary is 40,000 naira. The medical attention that the child needs is 50,000 naira. Listen, he needs money. But if you pay him 40K, the reality is this, you will get his attention for the period with which you guys agreed, right? But he will be very distracted. But the reality is this, that's where we are. So this is what I say, and maybe saying it this way will also help. What you've touched on, right, is a very big problem in the fashion industry, especially. The peculiarities of the fashion industry in Nigeria is very real, and I will not deny that in any way, fashion, or form. All right, so I agree and I accept that. Okay, however, if we are going to get the kind of results that we want, some of us need to start thinking differently. And the reality is that the earlier we do that, the better for us. Listen, when you and I had a conversation, right, you mentioned that right now, I mean, you mentioned it earlier that you can travel and production is
So,
Hello, are you with
sorry,
me?
what happened was I forgot to put
Okay,
my phone on.
Hi, Tokwe. Hi, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
But what I'm trying to do is to put my phone on flight mode. So a call is coming in and and disturbing me. So let me just try and put it on flight mode so that it just works with Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay, are you there? Hello? Is Deji there? Okay, if you can hear me, if anybody in the audience can hear me, please just wave, because I had a bit of an issue with internet connection for a bit, and I apologize for that. But I seem to think I have lost Deji. Is anybody there? If you're there, please wave, let me know, because I think I've lost, okay, great. Okay, so let me try and get Deji back. Okay, you're here, so let me just invite you. Hang on, okay. I'm sorry about that. It wasn't. Yeah. Okay. I'm adding you back. Okay, fantastic. So I'm back.
All right, I'm here.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So sorry. I was meant to put you on flight mode, but I didn't. So
No problem.
It caused an interruption. Okay, fine. So I hope I didn't miss much.
I hope I didn't miss much.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So last time, where I missed you was, I think where I lost you was where you said something about he was in the hospital or he has a child in hospital, and at that point in time, that was why I stopped.
Yes. So okay. So I mean, let me also try and give a practical example, right? You know, many people have domestic helps in their houses and things like that, right? And they will tell you that a lot of those domestic helps don't really get a lot of good treatment when they work with many people. And so when they come to you and you treat them well, chances are that they don't even want to leave. And typically, right, that's my experience in my own house, right? I've got 3 kids, right? And 2 people helping us in the house. And sometimes, right, some of them come in and they're telling the people that brought them that, listen, me, I don't want to go anywhere. Do you understand? I want to stay here.
Yeah, my internet just froze for a second there. I think I'm having issues with this internet. I have my second phone here, so worst case scenario, I just switch on phone. Okay, I've lost Deji again. Deji, just come back on again, and then I can add you to the conversation. In the meantime, let me read what people have said. So hi, Bayo. I'm reading your comment now. It says, giving employees what matters to them the most, based on understanding, will make them offer their best. Yeah, but you see, my issue with appealing to people emotionally is it also, I mean, I don't have an issue. It's not like I'm a mean or a bad person or anything. But the truth is, like, for example, we keep hearing things like, okay, speak to them very nicely and stuff, which we try to do. But you know, and I know that when you are over nice, then they take it for granted. It now becomes an issue. Do you understand? So where do you strike the balance? You know, and at the end of the day, yeah, you can do medical insurance and stuff like that, but it's still more money leaving my pocket, right? So I remember I had a staff a while back who was ill, and after being ill, I took her to the hospital, paid all her hospital bills, everything, x-ray, everything, you name it, I paid it. And then all of a sudden, she just didn't show up to work for like 2 weeks. And then I now deducted, okay, I have to add you, so let me add you. Do you understand? So after that, it was just a matter of, and then she now disappeared for 2 weeks and then came back, and she was upset that I deducted the medical bill from her salary, because for Pete's sake, I mean, the reason I took you to hospital was so that you could get better, and you know, you could continue your work. Now that might seem like a selfish thing on my part, but at the end of the day, I'm running a business. I'm not running a charity. Do you understand? So for me, it's always an issue. Deji, I was addressing one of the comments where I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I was addressing one of the comments where Bayo was saying you need to appeal to your employees, what's it called?
Emotional needs. Yeah.
And for me, I'm thinking, and I'll give an example of myself, whereby a few years ago, I went to, I had a staff that was ill, and I went all out to the hospital, paid her medical bills, x-ray, everything. You get paid x-ray, did this, did that, everything. And then after she was done, she now disappeared. And I was like, what?
Sounds typical.
She went for 2 weeks and came back. And guess what? I deducted my medical bills from her salary, because I didn't understand. The reason I made you get well was so that you come and continue your job. And then she started upset that how could I deduct the money from her salary? I'm like, oh, am I a charity? You just get for no reason. After I have confirmation that you are actually happy. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So me, like medical insurance now, I told you that my staff are on medical insurance, right?
Yeah.
But the truth is, it's still more money. Yeah, it's supposed to be deducted from their gross and everything in reality. But at the end of the, as at 2 months ago, all I was writing was payee checks. Now I'm writing payee check. I'm writing medical insurance check. I'm writing NHF check, and I'm thinking to myself, this is more cash flow leaving my pocket. Well, you get where I'm coming from.
I
So
feel
much
you.
as we want to do these things, how can we get our employee? Because the whole idea is for us to be able to, trust them enough to be able to do the work. But how do we get them to understand that, okay, look, these things can happen, right, if you do the work? Well, the truth is they are also still busy thinking about their own bottom line. So it's a matter of, well, at the end of the day, I just want to protect myself. I just want to do this. I just want to do that. And if you speak too nicely to staff, artisans, they will take you for granted.
So,
Because
Tokwe,
you are
let me
too
say
nice.
something. Let me say a few things, right? Firstly, let me ask you a question. In your opinion, right, do you think this industry will remain like this for the next 5 years?
In fact, 20 years, it's not a cost, it's a fact. No, because
Okay.
the same thing we were complaining about 10 years ago, we are still complaining about it.
So let me tell you
It's
why.
ridiculous.
So let me tell you why I may think differently, right? I think that the pace at which we're going, as far as development and things like that are concerned, right? I think that somebody is going to disrupt this industry in the next 5 years. That's my gut feel. That's what I really think. I think that the
The only way they
problem has
can
come
disrupt
up.
it is using technology. Not
No, no,
for
no.
them. No, I'm not we're
It
not talking
doesn't have
about
to be.
production.
No, no, no. It doesn't have to be technology, right? I mean disrupt. When I mean disrupt, I mean that crack this problem of tailors. I think that in the next 5 years, someone is going to crack it, right? You know why? Whenever a problem
Why?
becomes reoccurring, right? A lot of people start working on it in the background that you don't even know.
I was working on it in the background.
But you know what, Tokwe? Tokwe? It has taken you about 8 or 9 years or 7 years, but now you seem to have gotten it right to an extent. And this is my point. This is my point, right? To be honest with you, and except I want to lie to you, but if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think anybody can take away the problem 100%. I think that we will continually, progressively manage the issues, but you will always find that Judas Iscariot out of every 12 disciples.
Okay, so what now happens? Because the whole problem is, we always have to manage the problem and stuff like that. But the whole essence of this discussion is the fact that, look, we cannot help but be operational in nature.
Okay,
due
so let
to
me
the
come
nature
back
of
to
our
that.
work and due to the fact that the employees that we have seem to have an issue. I mean, we are saying one thing, they're hearing something else.
So let me come back to that, right? Let me come back to that. So I think that it's not a crime to be operational maybe in your first 2-3 years, or maybe even 4 years, or maybe even 5 years. But don't die in operations. So what that means is this, right? For example, again, Tokwe, let's go back to you as an example, right? When you first started, you had to be very operational. These guys were very frustrating. You told me about a particular period where you trained 10 people and the 10 of them disappeared. But someone is going to come to your office today.
It was just last year.
Yeah. Now, someone is going to come to your office today and see things working, and the person is going to be like, oh, what is the magic formula? But the prompt is this: there is no magic formula. It's 10 years of hard work. Now, the point is this: if that's what it takes, the question I should now be asking you is, are we willing to give it what it takes to make it work? If not, then let's continue living with the problem forever. But guess what? I don't think, right? And honestly, I don't think that at the end of the day, this issue is going to last like this forever. Honestly speaking, that's my honest opinion. But the question I need to ask is this, right? Are we going to be the ones solving the problems, or we're going to be the ones keep on talking about the problem, and wait for someone else to find a solution, right? I think that everybody needs to take the bull by the horn and find a way to solve that problem for themselves, right? And when you find a solution, share it as much as possible. In my honest opinion, right, Tokwe, I think that for every 20 people that you train, maybe 3-4 will probably come out very good. If you know that that's your conversion rate, it's like a hotel, right? A hotel that knows that for every 10 people that make inquiries, only one person converts into an actual customer. If you want to grow your business, increase your number of inquiries from 10 to 200. Because your percentage conversion is usually the same. In the same way, right? If you train 200 people or 10 people, if your percentage conversion in terms of the number of people that will be very good and be loyal and that will stay is 2 out of every 10, then you need to start training 100 if you are looking for 20.
Yeah, but with which resources? Remember that training I did was for free.
Yes.
It was not only for free for the machinists, because let me tell you why I started that. Point was, number one, we were starting a production unit, right?
Yes.
And we needed people that, could learn from scratch. And then number two, designers were always complaining that they didn't have people to work with. So I said, okay, fine. This problem has been reoccurring. We did a lot of work with people, and we went to centers and stuff like that. We even went to what's it called, the SOS, and it was just a mess. So we now started talking to people, whoever needs a job and stuff. Now, we did the training, yes. And at the end of the day, it was like, because they had nothing to lose, they got the knowledge and they left, and they can offer their services, at a higher, What I wish I had done was I wish I had built them for it. Because at least I would not have suffered for it. That's number one. So what I am doing now, no, it's true now. So what I am doing now is, and anybody who I don't really say this to a lot of people, but this is part of what I do, is I discuss with them at the point of the interview, because one of the things I do is, of course, I try to explain to them what we're trying to achieve and stuff like that. And then at some point, I explain to them that, look, for the first 3 months, right, I'm going to give you the training, but I'm also going to deduct a certain amount from your salary. If you stay with me for 1 year, you'll get the bulk of your money back. If you leave before 1 year, you forfeit the money.
So, Tokwe, let me tell you a research-based fact, right? We did this research in BPI, right? And our consulting firm also, of course, does research and things like that. And we found out the number one reason why people leave small businesses, right? Guess the number one reason.
They're not satisfied with the money or what?
No, the number one reason was they don't see a future.
Ah, I see.
You know what that means? That means that if I work for you for 5 years,
there's no promotional structure or stuff.
Exactly. So what that means is that if I work for you for 5 years, right? If I'm an assistant tailor, I would die as an assistant tailor. So what that means is this: I can't see a career path. I can't see myself having children with your career path. So, for example, when we were in KPMG, right, there was partner to aspire to. There was senior manager to aspire to. You knew that if you stayed there for 6 years, you will become manager. It was absolutely guaranteed. Nobody will come and, do you mago. Nobody will come and do wuru-wuru for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if I'm a tailor, I'm sitting down here. Listen, these tailors are smart as well. They are looking at you and they are looking at their future. And they are saying, oh boy, there's no way in this place. Oh, this place I would die as a pauper. Why should I stay here? Let me just get the skill that I need and move on to somewhere else where I think there are greener pastures. So that's why it goes back to what I'm saying, right? That we need to find a way to say that, listen, what is it that is important to these people? And how can we meet them at the point of their need? Again, don't catch a fish on your own terms. You catch a fish on the terms of the fish. And I think that if we are completely honest and we have serious conversations with these people, some of them will tell you the truth that, auntie, let me not lie to you. I can't stay here. I have 2 children to feed and they need to go to school. 50,000 naira will not cut it. But if they know that you are a person of integrity and you're a person of your word and you will not change the goalpost in the middle of the game, then chances are there will still be those people who will leave. There will be those people who are impatient. But you must remember that finding a job out there is not also as easy as that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so for somebody to leave you, right, the person has looked at it and said, there is no option here. There is no way. As in, I can't move forward here. I don't know if you see what I'm saying.
No, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. So these are the things that we need to be discussing during the interview process, right?
Yeah. And you need to have that conversation up front and say, listen, young man, young woman, I understand that you have needs. I understand that, you too, you want to be a big girl. You want to buy a mobile phone. You want to stop using Palasa. You want to do all these wonderful things, right? I understand that, okay? But is there a way, right? Can you maybe, for example, and I'm just thinking hypothetically here, can you give me the next 6 months of your life? And I promise you that in this 6 months, this is who you will become. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if that is a vision that the person is excited about, then you have a staff for at least 6 months to 1 year. But if that is not the case, if you are selling your own vision, the person will say that this woman just wants to use me to become a big woman in town. The woman doesn't care about me. Now, the reality is this, and it goes back to something else that you were saying, that when we were working, that was not, nobody sold us that type of vision. We worked because we wanted to learn. We worked because we wanted to help our destiny. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But unfortunately, the people that we are working with are not like that. Tokwe, let me tell you something. I'm not sure I've ever told you this before. One of my biggest shock, as a massive shock, Tokwe, when I left KPMG in 2008, right? My number one shock, and I kid you not, was the poor quality of people I was working with. I had to work with.
Oh yeah. Tell me about it.
I thought everybody was like KPMG staff.
I'm telling you, that's why they say our standards are too high.
Okay, so
I went to I kid you not. I've said it, and I'm sure Wale is grinning now as he's listening to this. Anybody that has worked in KPMG, you will find it difficult to work with anybody else because you're like, how is it even possible that you think this way? Like, seriously.
Tokwe, I was so shocked, as in, when I give my staff work to do, I have to go back and do it myself.
Exactly. Do you get?
It was tough. I was so, Tokwe, at some point I thought I was losing my mind. Because I said, how can you be this bad?
I kid you not. Let me give you an example. I went for one training that the church was having. Till tomorrow, that guy doesn't like me. Anytime he sees me, he doesn't like me because I went as a business owner complaining about, how, I'm too involved. I have staff, they're not delivering and stuff. This was when I started then.
Yeah.
And you know what the guy said to me? And he's supposed to be an advisor. I looked at him and I shook my head. You know what he said to me? He said maybe my standards were too high, that I should lower my standard to meet the standard of my tailor, that maybe my tailor will stay. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. That is your advice for me. And I said, yes, Wale can remember, right? Do you know how many times I cried on Wale's shoulder? You know, the next time. You understand? And you see this, and that's my frustration because people think I'm too finicky. I'm too, and I'm like, no, like seriously, if you're going to write a letter properly. All these whole formatting, all these whole, and guess what? I went to a fashion school that I was trained in a certain way again. So when I see people sewing, I keep asking them, if your tailor gives you this work, will you not complain? So why are you giving me work like this?
I made up my mind that listen, people leaving is inevitable, and I had to make peace with it, with the fact that talk about the worst parts of people leaving me. I've been in the middle of the project. We have a client meeting the following day. I just happened to have paid salaries today, and my key guy on the project did not show up the following day. He sends me an email and tells me he has resigned.
You are paid. You are paid. Please, how many designers have gone through that? Whereby their tailors left after collecting salary? Please raise your hand like this. You are paid. That's what we face on a normal day. What are you saying?
No, but I'm trying to tell you that I have my fair share of battle scars. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you know what? The point is this, you cannot get to that point. See, don't let a tragedy change your theology. Don't let what didn't go right change who you are as a good person. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But it makes me set rules in place to prevent, because I have a right to protect myself.
Absolutely. I totally agree. You are 100% right. But guess what, right? If you are a given person, if you are magnanimous with trainings, if you are magnanimous with showing people things, right? I mean, I remember one of my guys, let me give you an example, right? This guy used to work with me as an accounts guy, right? I was very tough at some point, and very rigorous. And the guy was always complaining. Till today, the guy still called me. In fact, one of his ogas that he works for, because now he runs his own business, right? One of his ogas that he consults for came for the growth workshop.
Oh, and wow.
I'm telling you, and she was raving to him on and on about this workshop that she attended, blah, blah, blah. So he now asked her that who facilitated the workshop. She mentioned my name. The guy said he told her, he said, everything I've been trying to tell you since all these days is this same Deji that you're talking about that taught me, that is making me tell you. The guy was so excited. He actually called me. He said, "Oga, I've been telling her since, so she doesn't want to hear. But thank you for telling her. I told her the same thing." And she went back to her office. She was telling everybody that, listen, I've attended the best workshop in my life. We are doing the wrong thing. Remember when I was talking to you in the workshop about a lady that kept talking about quality? And I said, what you're selling is not quality. She does custom clothing. Remember?
Yeah.
That was the lady.
I think she's actually in this. She's listening to this training, actually.
Oh, really? you understand what I'm saying?
I think she's here, yeah.
Do you understand? So my point is that the reality is this: as a tailor, as a fashion designer, you need to create.
Did you read that comment?
That's how.
So wait, Elizabeth, let me. So you're saying all your projects end on the 31st. You do know that there are some people, right? You do know that there are some people that only pay 2 weeks or 3 weeks into the new month. They are actually not owing their staff. They want to be in a position whereby they constantly are owing their staff so that their staff do not leave. I hear that is a strategy. Someone suggested me doing that, right? And I said, I can't do it because one thing I know is never hold on to somebody's money. Pay them their wages. But the truth is, what happens is small business owners have been forced to only pay people 3 weeks or 4 weeks into the month so that their people actually stay with them.
But Tokwa, you know the funny thing? That doesn't work. But you know what? That doesn't work. You know why?
It works now because, I mean, people are constantly saying they're still owing me money. No, I must collect my money. I must collect my money. I must collect my money. How many? Because they are still at
the people that are saying that, haven't they left?
Well, some are still there.
Some are still there. But most of them will leave. Tokwa, what you also don't want to do is to keep people that are frustrated being with you. They will do terrible job. See, they'll just put pin inside one cloth that your customer will wear and it will be choking your customer.
And they'll sew it silly. And there was something that Wale pointed out as well, because see, I remember when I started, I had a lot of issues. Tailors that didn't want to use patterns, people that were telling me that all this my pattern nonsense. That don't worry, I will start doing freehand. They felt my processes were too strict, too this, too that, and everything. And because of that, I was seen as the mean and the evil person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it so wrong to want to get what I want? Right? And so that and this leads me back to the problem of being operational in nature. Because really and truly, if I want my tailors to get it, I have to be there with them.
Yeah. So
everything is being done.
This is the way. Sorry? This is my submission on the issue, right? Which is the fact that as a business owner, when you first start out, being operational is inevitable. It's important. You have to do it. But my point is this: don't die there. Don't be operational for the next 10 years.
Okay, so how do we move on? How do we move on from being operational to, I mean, let us know like the steps that you would suggest. Okay. I know what I did, and maybe after you talk, I'll share what I, eventually did as well to help others.
So here, in my view, the principle is there are two things. There is the fact that with whatever it is that you are doing today, you must be saving money because you will need to hire people at some point, and sometimes you can't really afford them. Right? It is your savings that helps you afford them. That's the first thing. So first thing is saving money. And the second thing is hiring people. Those two things are critical. But to hire people, you need to be able to pay them. To be able to pay them, you need to save money.
Can I ask you two questions? You said we need to save money. What is the difference between actually saving money and plowing back profits?
So there are two different things. When you plow back profits into the business, right? The problem with that is that it sometimes it doesn't generate cash flow immediately. It takes a while for that cash flow to come back to you, right? And it may be necessary, right, at the initial phase. But the reality is this: you still need cash or easily convertible cash instruments that you have invested in. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that is what will help you be able to fund some of the things that you need to do. Do you see what I'm saying?
So you think we should buy government bonds or treasury bills or maybe open piggy bank or accounts?
If saving money, if there are discipline issues with saving money, right? Yes, buying an investment may make sense. However, the point is this. Whatever you do with that money, the point is this. Is the fact that whenever you need that money to take the next step in your business, you can take out of that money to make that thing happen. See, Richard, I can't remember who it was that said this, right? If someone is poor, the definition of poor, right, P-O-O-R, is pass over opportunities repeatedly. Opportunities will always come, but the person who remains poor is the person that consistently passes up those opportunities, right? The same way in business, opportunities to grow will always come, but the person that remains small and operational is the person that consistently passes up those opportunities to grow their business. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Now, there are
Yeah.
some opportunities in this life that for you to take advantage of it, you need money. That is the truth. See, I know people say that it doesn't really take money to make money. I agree. But there are some instances that, brother, it takes money to make money. That is the reality. Do you understand? So you
Yeah.
must be able to, and my philosophy is this. If I hire a very good person, no matter how expensive the person is, eventually that person is free. The reason why the person is free is because every employee must make more money than what I pay them eventually. And that's
Well,
why,
like from day one.
no, not necessarily from day one, but eventually. So for example, after 9 months, if I'm not making, I mean, it's just like if I'm making a turnover of, let's say, 5 million, and I had 2 staff, then I added 1 more staff, and this is 2 years down the line, I'm still making 5 million. I'm losing.
Got you.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But if I add
Yeah.
more staff, then 2 years down the line, I should have moved to like 7 or 8 million, so that my ratio in terms of cost per staff or turnover per staff is increasing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But the question is, how do you make employees even, or maybe your staff that you work with, more accountable? Because I remember when I first started, and of course, Wale can also tell you this. I was working under the impression or the misconception, right, that the measure of a good business is determined by the number of its workforce. So I was just employing people anyhow. I didn't even know I had that much money. Do you understand?
You're Father Christmas, yes.
What happened is, and in fact, this even just happened recently as last month. There was a new staff that I got, right? And when it was just the 2 of us, I kid you not, I did not have an issue. As in, I would come to the office and she would have finished all the work. And I was like, oh my goodness, we're all thanking God. Guess when the problem started? When we started employing more people. It now became a problem. It now became me coming back and checking the same work over and over, unpicking a neckline like 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. And I called her so many times. I said, listen, what is the issue? Because I know what you did last year. Why are you giving me this kind of work? So it was almost a matter of maybe she just wanted to be the only, because I can't understand why I would bring in people to make your work easier, to make life easier for me. Or you go out of your way to try and jeopardize us, And when I come in and I start reading and I start shouting and everything, because eventually I can't keep smiling with you anymore. I'll start shouting when the deadline is coming. I'll start shouting and look, you need to give me this work. You need to give me this work. And you keep bringing one issue or hey, I told them. I'm like, you are the supervisor. Why do I have you here if I have to come and be checking the machinist's work? That's why eventually she left. And it was okay for me. Because I didn't understand why there was such a mind. Maybe she felt threatened, or maybe she felt I didn't understand it.
Possible.
Even my other staff didn't understand why the 360-degree change, right?
I mean, it's very possible, and I mean, even in performance management in organizations, you see that a lot, right? And I can see Wale's comment here is that
it's not fair. Wale, it's not fair. What do you mean by we believe that our staff can deliver quality work?
But it's the truth now.
But they don't deliver. That's the problem. So we have to be there.
You see, that's the challenge. That's the challenge. The challenge is this, right? There's so much to say, right? People don't do what you expect. They do what you inspect. The challenge is this, right? If you tell somebody do something and you come back when the person has finished the work, especially when he's a new person, chances are that they will have done the wrong thing. But if you give somebody a job and you have what I call control hold points within the work that you go back and check. So when you achieve milestone 1, let's review. When you achieve milestone 2, let's review on that same task before you get to the end. The problem is that many people want to go and correct at the end of the job. It's too late at that point. So you need to walk through.
But why do I have a supervisor there if I have to be checking at every point?
Because maybe the supervisor himself or herself, there may be several issues. Number 1, the supervisor doesn't know this. If the supervisor doesn't know that me too, I should be checking it at every. So maybe, for example, when I'm done with the neck, right, I should check. Then when I'm done with the waist, I should check. When I'm done with.
But she knows. But you see, in my case, I actually trained her. Do you understand? Well, you know what we do in my production unit? We actually write a procedural manual down, step by step, so that from the beginning to the end, you know what you're doing.
So let me ask you a question. Yeah. So when you've done that for the supervisor, when do you check the supervisor?
Well, you're right. Maybe when the garment is done, probably.
Precisely, and that's too late
But
already.
but the internet. But let me tell you something. The sample has already been done. Do you understand? We don't just go ahead and start doing the bulk.
Question.
The sample has been done.
Who did the
Sorry?
sample? Who did
She
the sample?
did the sample. She did the sample.
The tailor or the supervisor?
Both of them, they work together hand in hand. Do you understand?
So
the truth is, all the mistakes you've made in the sample should not be replicated in the bulk. Do you get? So why am I checking you again during the bulk when I have checked you during the sample?
The reason why you have to check is that vision leaks. People get distracted. Something happens and they drop the ball. That's why you have to check.
So then that means, why am I employing them if I'm still that operational in nature?
Now, what you are doing is you are not necessarily operational, right? You are checking the operations. You yourself said to me that Dangote still visits his refinery. He still visits his companies. He still visits all those places, right? What is he doing? He trusts his people, but he's verifying what they do. Why? Because he knows that if he sits in his high and lofty tower where, he just sits down there and is reviewing reports, one day somebody will cook beans for him and he will not know. So he will go on the ground and check what's happening in Congo, check what's happening in Kenya, check what's happening in all those countries where he is in. He will go and do physical verification. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was talking to someone one time, and the person was talking about how, they flew in first class with Dangote. That Dangote was the last person to always sleep in the plane. You know why? The guy is busy looking at reports, busy looking at what his guys have done, so that once he's landing like this, he's picking up his phone. He's calling the manager in Kenya. He's calling the manager in Cameroon. He's calling all those things because he has checked their reports and he can see that there are gaps and there are lapses in the things that people are giving them. So he is not operational. He's actually doing what he should be doing by setting direction and checking that direction to be sure that people are going in line with that direction.
Deji, I hope you are reading people's comments.
Yes, I can see.
Like, look at what Samuel said. He said, one major issue with those we employ is that they don't share our dreams. They don't know the implication of the things that they do. The thing is, when you even tell them the dream, you tell them, but they're just looking at you as in, because they have this whole mindset of, why must I work for you forever? Me too, I want to go and have my own dream.
You know why? Tokwe? Your dream they don't care about your dream.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the truth.
And that's the truth. But the reality is this, Tokwe, let's put it this way. If today I said that I want to start a football club, right? And Tokwe, please come and cheer me on, right? Chances are that if you may show up because you are my friend. Are you with me? But if I tell you, write me a check to support my dream, you may write me a check once. But after that day, will you write me a check again? Maybe not, because you don't care about football. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So my point is this, right? Don't expect people to buy into your dream. Their job is not to buy into your dream. Sometimes, it's just like when you are in a relationship, right? Why are you dating? To find out if two of you, your vision aligns. If your vision doesn't align, what do? You break up. So some staff are meant to work with you so that they can break up with you. Not all your staff are meant to be there forever, because some people will never share your dream no matter what you do.
Very true. There's something I also wanted to address that Samuel said as well. Read what he said. And I disagree with you, Samuel, on this matter. You said our own problem is that we feel we should work less because we have staff. We can't work less. We only change the kind of work we do. Who says we work less? Are you joking? Are you joking? Who says we work less? I am the last person to close. I can count how many hours I sleep. Because you don't see me in the production unit, it doesn't mean I'm not working. I am doing something else to ensure all these Facebook thinking, all these posts, all these things, who is doing the high level meetings, who is doing this, who is doing that. I think that is a very unfair statement to make. Nobody ever works less. Nobody does. We're just, like you rightly said, we are doing something else. You don't need to see me. Why do CEOs have their own office?
Yeah.
Partners, why do partners in KPMG have their own corners now? Because when you're in the thick of things, you cannot think well. One thing I know, which is why sometimes I show up to class around 12 o'clock.
See, someone is laughing. Someone is laughing.
Yes, now I have to do my admin work in the morning. And I know that once I get to the back like this, I cannot focus again. So when people will see me coming in at 12 o'clock thinking I'm doing CEO, I'm coming in at whatever time. No, I'm hustling hard.
The
because
reality
I'm
is
not
this,
hustling in front of you, which is why my staff is even telling me that with the new building that we're going to have, I must have my own office. He's been telling me, I wanted to use my office as, you know, something else. That she said, no, that I need my own office, right?
You see,
Because, yeah.
I mean, the reality is that, yes, you see, I was speaking to a CEO friend. He said, Deji, we work during the day and think at night. And then I asked him, so when do you sleep? He said, in between. Because, but you know, the challenge is this, right? I mean, for example, for the kind of business that I do, a lot of my time during the day, I'm on the road, having meetings and all of that. My job is not to sit in the office and do the work with my staff. My job is to go and make sure they are busy. And the only way I can do that is that if I'm on the road, having meetings and having conversations with people. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then, of course, I have days when I review the work that they do before it goes out to the client and things like that. So all those things are there, right? So yes, I agree. Maybe it's a bit harsh to say that CEOs are not working or something, right? But the reality, right? I mean, if we go back to the point, is there a way that we cannot be operational? My answer is yes. Categorically, it is yes. Will it happen today? Maybe not. Will it happen next
year?
Tell
us the steps we need to go through. Tell us the steps we need to go through.
The like, first thing,
break it down for us. So down, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4.
The first one. The first one is you need to have a dream and a vision to grow. Some people are so stuck into what they are doing today that they don't even have any dream of growth. Do you understand? They don't even see themselves leaving operations ever. If that is you are in a bad place. That's the truth. You must have a vision that one day I will stop doing this operational work and my business will grow, my business will thrive, and things will work. That's where I believe that it starts from. Now, once you have that, you must start working towards that vision. Now, the question is how do you work towards the vision? Number 1, start saving money. I recommend to every business person that on every job you do, save between 15 to 20%. Just assume that if you charge a client 100,000 naira for a job, that the client is actually paying you 80. That 20K on top of it, go and put it somewhere. Start saving that money.
Yeah,
do you understand what I'm saying?
That makes sense. And there are platforms for saving money actually. Because I know I recently started doing piggybank.ng, and the next day, I mean, when was it? Last week, I just looked at my balance and I was like, what? You mean I can save this much? It wasn't like it wasn't plenty money like that and everything. Yeah, it does help. So maybe, designers can consider actually opening a small. I'm not advertising for Piggy Bank. They didn't give me money to advertise for them. Please save whatever. My mother said sometimes go and save money with your mother or something. Just put something aside. But don't just put money aside and put it in a bowl.
It's not easy to touch. Yeah.
And you just forget about it.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
So that's the first thing.
We work very hard but not smart. They equate hard work with working smartly. Well, you have to explain all that one to us. But let me say something about working hard and working smart. Here's my philosophy. I think that people think about working smart like as if working smart means you don't have to work hard. In my view, you have to work smart in a hard way. All of you using English. Also is English.
Let me go back to my process. Let me go back to my process. So the first thing, like I said, is have a clear vision and a clear view of what this thing looks like. The second thing, like I said, is the money, right? You need to start saving the money. And then the third thing, right, is...
Just to remind people who maybe missed it, we're saving money so that we can employ people that we initially could not afford, right?
Yes.
Because when we employ them, then it makes life easier for us in the long run. Okay. Yes. I just wanted to get that clear.
Yes, absolutely. And then, of course, after that is then to go and start looking out for those people, right? And then start hiring those people in a place where, in a way that it will be very important for them to grow and all those types of things. Again, as a business person, I will always encourage you that you should design your business in a way that people can see a future in your business. If people don't see a future in your business, it's going to be difficult for them to stay with you for a long time. Because anybody that is good, and you know this as well as I do, that anybody that is a very good staff, most often, they know their worth. And they know that, listen, in 5 years, they're very ambitious. In 5 years, this is where I want to be. If they don't think that staying with you, they will achieve that in 5 years, they will leave, no matter what you say.
Okay, so you say we need to develop organograms then?
Yes, organogram
and
is part
share
of
it
it.
with them, like the
Organogram
career
is
path.
part of it. That's part of it. It may not be the only thing. Do you understand?
What else do
There,
we need to do? How else do we let them know that they have?
one,
Because
there,
for me, if
there
I have
is,
a head tailor or a supervisor, then where else can he go from there?
so, for example, what if you start sharing equity with the person to an extent? Not equity, rather profits.
But that's later now.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
Even my business, even the shares I have a certain part that's unallocated that I know eventually I'm going to
Exactly. So, but I need to know that exists, and I need to know that when do I qualify for it? If I work hard, can I qualify for it in 2 years?
No,
I don't know if you see
you
my
work more
point.
than 2 years.
Now that's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
but here's the thing, Tokwe. If I qualify for it, let's say in 10 years, but is there something that I can get in 2 years that tells me that, oh, I'm on my way there? For example,
What about bonuses? Won't bonuses suffice?
bonuses can suffice, but again, depending on the stage of life of the person, bonus may not be their issue. So, for example, if someone walked up to me one time and says, listen, Deji, I want to start a consulting firm, but I'm also looking to partner with someone if possible. And I said, what do you have in mind? He said, Deji, I'm not really interested in the money, because if I was interested in money, I'll bring you deals and collect finder's fee. But he said, that's not what I'm interested in. I want to build a legacy. I want to build a business. And I want to build it with someone that is already doing a consulting business. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I said to the person, hey, let's chat, let's talk. Now, for that kind of a person, if I was offering him bonus, that's not what he's interested in. Do you understand? You just find out that the jobs have dried up from his end. The person that used to give you a lot of referrals has stopped. Not because he doesn't like you, but because what he's looking for is not what you're offering him.
Okay, true, makes sense.
Do you understand?
Makes
so, for
sense.
example, when KPMG, on your way to partner, they will make you senior. They will make you manager.
Senior 1, 2, 3.
I do understand
manager 1, 2, 3. They make you senior manager 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then they make you associate director 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Why are they doing that? Why are they doing
sorry,
that?
sorry.
They know that what you want. They know that what you want is that partner or associate director.
That partner.
So they know that that's what you want. So before you get there, they'll give you.
Why didn't that keep you back? Let me challenge you now. Why didn't you stay back?
Why didn't I stay back? Because I wanted to help. I wanted to help businesses grow. Honestly speaking,
because even though you had a career path and you had a future with them, you should have stayed back.
Yes, I agree with you. And to be honest with you, if I had stayed back, I have no doubt in my mind that I would have made partner by now, Seth. Do you understand? Because I have some of my classmates that I've already made partner, right? But honestly speaking, two things, right? I wanted to do more in church, and then I also wanted to help a lot of businesses. So what I did was,
and weren't you doing that in KPMG? At least you were doing tax advisory and advisory opinions and all those things.
Tax advisory to business advisory. And it was all part of that plan to be able to help businesses. So I went to business advisory so I could learn what management consulting was all about. Okay. And to be honest with you, I say this everywhere I go, that I don't wish I had worked anywhere else at the start of my career. I think that KPMG was the best place I could have worked as far as in Nigeria is concerned.
It's not that we are promoting KPMG. Well, you'll just be greening and greening. But it's not true.
I say that everywhere I go. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have no apologies for starting my career in KPMG. I'm not one of those guys that will be comparing themselves that look at what my mates are earning. I knew what I was going for when I was entering KPMG. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I've been very clear in my mind as far as what I wanted to do, for quite a while. And so leaving KPMG, when the opportunity came up to start something with a friend, I just took the plunge. And I said something to myself. I said to myself that, listen, I'm young. If I make a mistake now, I can easily correct myself. But once wife and children shows up in the picture, there is no risk again, because school fees does not collect tongues and prayer. School fees is real. There is a devourer. There is a devourer called school fees. That devourer is very
before we
real.
digress, you were saying something about what's it called? You said have a vision, have a plan in the business, sort of like an organogram and beyond. Give them all the things. Then after that, what else can we do?
Yeah, save money. We talked about
because
saving
basically
money.
this whole thing is about being able to motivate the employee so that we can go on our vacation. Because I need a vacation. Jonathan, so please tell me the steps to be able to take more of a vacation so that I can think clearly. Because one of the major issues that we have is the fact that we're too stressed. And I keep giving the example of a student who came in from Owerri for one of our courses, and she literally had a stroke at 32.
Wow.
And she said the reason, in fact, I wrote that article on the blog. She had a stroke at 32. She said because she was doing everything. She felt her tailors were not doing a good job. And then we all know how it is when we're sewing now. You will not eat. You will not drink water. You will say, let me just quickly finish this thing. The 30 minutes I'm going to use to eat, I would have finished sewing the sleeve. Is a lie. You will make that mistake and you won't pick it 10 times. Do you understand? But we didn't think that. Yeah. Eventually, she had a stroke. She had to learn to walk again. And she had 3 kids at 32.
Wow.
Yeah. So the reality is, if you think you are the only all and the be all and the end of all your business, guess what happens when you break down? Your business will crash.
No, that's it. It's done. It's gone. In fact, nobody will know that you had a business again.
Yeah. And one of the things I do, I don't know if I mentioned it to you at the seminar, one of the things I do, and I think somebody else mentioned this, is I ensure that my staff goes on leave. My staff go on leave. Right?
Yeah, you mentioned
And I tell them, my policy is once this person is on leave, you cannot call them. Don't call them. Don't do anything, because if you are too reliant, it now becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So really, I think that is also something else you can incorporate. If you are the kind of person that has a tailor and the tailor doesn't know that they have the right to go on leave, then it's an issue.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because and that's
I want
why
to look at Sam's comments. Look at this Sam's comments.
Tailors don't like it when a new tailor comes and is as important as the ones that have been there. Well, yeah, nobody likes it. Even in a corporate organization, nobody likes it.
Do you think that may have happened to that your lady that left, the former good performer that eventually became bad?
I think what happened, let me tell you what happened. What happened is the same thing. If you are it's like you're in a house with 2 people, maybe you have a roommate, and somebody breaks the glass. If it's not me, it has to be you.
Yeah.
Are we? But when there are now more people, to hide behind.
Yeah.
And they now become complacent. So I think that was probably what happened. And I think at some point in time, she may have felt threatened because one of the new people that we got was actually more experienced than she was. Because there were some times that the guy would make an obvious mistake. And I'll be like, but you can see he's making a mistake. She would tell me, I thought that he knew what he was doing. No, I thought that he was correct.
She wants to pull him down so that she can be more elevated.
Sorry?
So maybe she wants to, so to speak, pull him down so that she can be more elevated in your eyes.
To be honest, I can't understand what happened because I made it clear to everybody that you are the supervisor. Even this guy, even though he was someone that was working with me that left and came back, and everybody knew that this guy used to work with me. He left and he came back. And that's what I'm saying. If I was that evil person, he wouldn't come back after how many years?
Tokwe, you know that when you give me a title, but you defer to someone else instead of me, then I know I'm a figurehead.
No, but I never did that though. I was always calling her. Because I didn't want it to see. But what we did, one of the things that I made sure I did was if we had because there were some things that I just wanted, because he had some, ideas. And that's the same way I do at work as well in training. I will call you to say, okay, do you know how to do this? I will call you to say, do you know how to do it? We'll all watch YouTube videos together in the factory. It was something we did. Even sometimes, even though I knew what I was doing, I still let them show me to make it seem as if, okay, you are relevant. So I was deferring to her and I kept saying, you are the this, you are the this. But I think I didn't understand what happened, to be honest. And I kept asking, I'm like, what's the issue? What's the issue? Do you feel, I don't know. I don't know what happened, to be honest. But the truth is, another thing is, and so, yeah, maybe a few times I may have been guilty because there are sometimes that we are stuck on an issue and he's the one that knows how to do it. What am I going to say? He should not show. Do you get my point? Deji has gone. Deji, where are you? I walked alone for the whole of my first year. I didn't have a show, but I had a lot of... What other things did you have? We have lost Deji. We have lost... Where is he? Where is he? Deji, where are you? Let me find out where he is. Okay, well, while we're waiting for Deji to come back on, let me share maybe some... Can you imagine? I thought this was just going to be just 1 hour, and it's already 10:22. Let me share one of the things that I did, and one of the things that is one of the most important things that I think everybody should do. It is very important for you if you don't want to be, and like I said, I mean, I told Deji that, yeah,
as much as operational in nature, at least I was able to take a vacation for like 3 months last year. It wasn't like I went to a party or anything. You know, I was able to stay away from the office for 3 months, and at least it didn't break down. And it was so interesting that it was even when I was away that the office even thrived more. So one of the things that I ensured that I did was that I broke up the production process. The issue I think a lot of us have as designers is we have just one person that we rely on that does everything. And when that person doesn't show up, it now becomes an issue for us. So one of the things we were able to do was, because I was away, the person that was handling inquiries knew she was handling inquiries. And then she would now create the pattern and then pass it to the factory. So it wasn't as if everything was dependent on me. And to an extent, I had to trust them to a certain extent, right? That, okay, fine. Do you know what you're doing? We've seen this, just as long as there was a supervisor, and there was a supervisor, then I was supposed to be overseeing them and everything. It really helped. So break it up. I was talking to Bisola. I don't know if Bisola is here. Bisola, if you're here, wave your hand. She chatted me up in the WhatsApp group when she saw what's it called. And she said one of the best decisions she ever made was outsourcing her work. Because the truth is, if you outsource your work to competent people, then it leaves you, and it gives you the ability to be able to at least think about how to grow your business. Because there's no way you can be operational and that business is going to grow. It's not possible. Because when you're supposed to be sitting down to be going for meetings and strategizing and networking and everything, you're behind the sewing machine. And remember, you shouldn't even be behind the sewing machine. What are you doing there? You will break down. So she said when she started outsourcing, her life became easier. Now, the question is, who are the competent people to outsource to? That is where your research comes into play. You know, there are times that, and yeah, you do have to kind of spend money at some point in time because you just have to take a chance. I think one of the major issues that we have is too many people are too scared to lose money. Please, if you want to live long, always make money a secondary issue. I make money a secondary issue. It's not a do or die affair, right? But what I do is, worst case scenario, I can deprive myself of certain things in order to make the business grow, or worst case, I go and loan money at 0% interest, right? Thankfully, I don't have to do that anymore. And at some point in time, I started now paying myself a salary and things like that. So break up your production process. It is, networking is work. Oh, it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. If there's somebody that uses his, if there's someone that uses his network to the fullest advantage, I kid you not, is my second half. As in, literally, he invests a lot of time in networking and it pays off, right? So it's important. All these parties, all these things, and not networking with your customers and people that will bring you money. Also network with the people in the market as well, because they are the ones that will save you, you know, the unnecessary money that you spend on fabrics and things like that. So, yeah, what was I saying? I said, number one, break up the production process as much as you can. Number two, outsource if you can. Then there was something that someone said. I was chatting to somebody else as well before the stuff happened, and I had to send myself the chat. Let me read it out to you. And she's a business consultant. And of course, we had a small banter. And then she said something. Let me read it out. She says, when you imbibe leadership skills, you direct those who do the work. She said, remember I said when. So no one needs to learn leadership skills. That is why a lot of solopreneurs micromanage and feel no one can do the job like them, while the reverse is the case. They need to learn the skills of delegation and processes. Then she goes, I'm a business management consultant in the first instance, and I also was a serial entrepreneur. It is definitely not easy, but nothing good is easy. There are processes and growth both within and external. This is a process and not a one-day job. Everything must follow a process, and if one jumps one level, it fails. When one gets there, there is a transfer of knowledge and other operational processes and standard operating procedures put in place that can be mapped. Yes, it is not easy, but the entrepreneur or solopreneur needs to understand the dangers of micromanaging or doing all if they want growth. So yeah, and I thought that was actually very insightful. In fact, I've told her that next time she's even coming to have a chat in this Facebook group and all. So I now don't know where Deji has gone, but I didn't think we were going to be here for 1.5 hours. So let me see if he's still somewhere. If not, we will call it a day. Has this made sense? I don't know. Has it made sense? Was this what you were hoping to hear? Or did you just ramble on as this too much about KPMG? Which one? Tell us. Give us feedback while I'm trying to reach Deji. Let me find out where he is.
Actually, am I still online? Because I don't see anybody saying anything. Am I still online? If I'm online, if you can still hear me, please say hi. What's up? Wave. Deji, where are thou? What happened? Oh wow! Oh wow! Okay, so Deji has gone offline. Do you have any? Let me put you on speaker, and so that we can just wrap this up, because I told you to spend more than 1 hour now. It's now more than 1 hour now. Okay, so let me put you on speaker, and then you can just give your final words, and then we can call it a day. So Deji's on speaker now.
All right. So good evening. I hope everybody can still hear me. All right. So yeah.
Okay, can you hear Deji? Can you hear Deji?
Can you hear Deji? Deji speaking right here. Can you hear me?
I'm sure they can hear you. Oh, yeah. Continue.
So, okay, so let me wrap it up with this, right? So, like I said, the first thing is have a clear vision or a goal in your mind that, listen, I want to exit being operational, maybe after 5 years or after 3 years, whatever. And, having that goal alone in itself is not anything until you start to work towards it. So working towards this is, number one, you're saving money, all right, towards it. Number two, you're looking to hire people. And then, you're giving those people some sort of future career paths, something that they can look forward to within your organization, within your entity. And then, of course, you want to stay focused on whatever it is that you're doing and ensure that, you keep in line and keep your promises, right? When you make promises to people and say, hey, listen, in 2 years you'll become this, in 3 years you'll become this, let's keep those promises as much as possible. I don't think that growing a business is that tough. I think that it's about sticking with those principles and working with them all through till the end.
Okay, so fabulous.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. Wait, don't go yet. Are you having a growth workship for fashion designers?
If you guys can
we
put
can't
yourselves
afford big
together,
money, so do growth workshop for us that we can afford.
If people can put themselves together, I will do it.
I can put us together. It's not a problem.
If you can put people together, let me know what you guys want me to do, what you want me to, focus on. We can agree and arrange, to invite guests as well, and then we can make it happen. I'll prepare for it and I'll make it happen.
Okay. How much will you charge us? Think about it though.
Yes, you tell me how much do you think people will be happy to pay?
Oh yeah, people, how much are you happy to pay? Because I know people don't like paying money. And you see, you need to invest in the knowledge. If you want to make money, you need to spend money.
You need to invest money, yes.
Are we interested in a growth seminar that is affordable? And the question is, if you want to pay, how much do you want to pay? Now that Deji's on the phone now, so that we can finalize.
You can rope me in, Abby.
Yeah, we can rope you in and quickly organize this sharp. Please don't feel bad for not feeling hands-on at all. Okay, fine. What we can do is we'll talk to the members of the people in the group, and people in the group will note that I didn't put it on Instagram and I made it intentional. The last time it was on Instagram and it was on Facebook, but this time I said no. It's for the people in the group. If we want to move our businesses forward, I think it is important to actually invest the time and the knowledge and the finances. You know me, I'm a trainer by nature. You have to spend money to make money. There's no way. It's very, very important. So what we can do, Deji, let me think about it. Let me, talk to members in the group. Please make it affordable for us. So we don't need any fancy hotel.
You are going to be the one driving it now. So once you drive the reason why sometimes it can get a bit expensive is because, number one, the venue, right? Number two, the food, right? And all those things. Facilitators, usually you can get them, you can get people to do you favors and things like that. Do you understand? But as long as all those things are not critical, hey, it can be as rock bottom as possible.
Or maybe we should even make it as part of Fashion Talk, because I haven't had Fashion Talk in a while. Fashion Talk is for people that really want to do ready to wear and stuff. So we have like 3 speakers. We have a designer, someone that talks about sales and operations, and then there's someone that talks about production as well. So absolutely. I know people were asking me that we hadn't done Fashion Talk in a while. So I was thinking, what's it called? But now if I do, or maybe no, let me not mix it with Fashion Talk. Let's do a proper workshop, a proper growth workshop that will also enable us the opportunity to network with each other as well, and maybe perhaps also have a focus session. Another thing I want to ask: do you do one-on-one consultations?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We had 2 people, for example, from the last growth workshop on Saturday in my office today, and we're talking about, how to really help them grow and scale their
Please
businesses.
make that 3 because this I'm coming. I just haven't. Let me just clear my schedule. Make that 3. I have some courses I'm running, and I have some videos I'm shooting.
So yeah, I do one-on-one consultation, and then of course with my team as well, because again, I also don't want to kill myself with operations. So I've got a good team that works with me, and they're fabulous guys. So hey, we'll be happy to help out in any way possible, and make things happen. So yeah, why not?
Okay, thank you so
Thank you for having me on the group. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
I should be thanking you. I hope you had a good time. Something I've been trying to plan for 1 year, for 1 month. We finally did it. After the rain and everything.
We finally made it happen.
We finally made it happen.
Shame to say that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Regards to your wife and your family.
Likewise, regards to Deji, all right? Thank you.
Alrighty. Cheers.
All right, good evening. Good night, everyone.
Good night. And on that note, I also end the session. Thank you so much for joining me. Please, I'm going to implore you to please invite your designer friends. The reason Designers Hub is not about me. It's not about one person. It's about all of us coming together to make things work. And if you are just joining the group and you've read through other posts, you'll see that we have some people that have been teaching us certain things. Even me, I have to read and be Jackie. Samuel does, Olaoye does. Those are the 2 people that I know that post consistently and everything. And of course, I didn't want a situation whereby people felt the group was about me. So invite your friends. Let us make this a thriving viral group. It's not only when we're talking about gist and stuff that we need or how to sew. Truth is, production is useless if you don't make sales. It's really important. Thank you, Ale. Thank you. I will gist you. I'll chat to you later. Thank you so much. Wale, I even need to invite you. Don't go yet. Wale, please. We need to invite you to come and talk to us about something. I will think about it, but I will call you. I will call you. So yeah, please invite your friends. Invite. Let's make it a very thriving group because we need to share knowledge. We need to help each other move, forward. I'm just one person, but there's something you learn. There's something that I don't know. There are things that I've learned by reading, certain things here. And so yeah, that's it. I'll call it a night, and I will let you know when next we're going to have a chat. Maybe initially we're thinking twice a month, like every Tuesday, but sometimes life happens, rain happens, traffic happens, so that's why we had to do Thursday, because I wanted to leave off the vibe of what happened on Saturday. So I will try. We've done one this week. I will try. Which one is better, Tuesdays or Thursdays? What do you think? Should we leave it at Tuesday or should we make it Thursday? Whatever it is, let me know. We can put it to vote. Me, I always like doing votes in the group. And we'll just make a plan on one of these days. So I won't see you next week. I will try and see you upper week. Have a fabulous day and don't stop posting in the group. Bye.